So, dear friends, once again it's hearty welcome. In this our today's lecture, we are going to study about two major topics which are correlated to each other. First of all, we are going to discuss about the term reproductive health. What does it mean, reproductive health? And then what are the different objectives, what are the different goals to achieve the reproductive health of people, to achieve reproductive health of society, and how to maintain the reproductive health. And then we are going to study about different birth control measures, that is the various ways, various methods, various measures we can say, that is contraceptives, just to prevent the fertilization and to prevent the unwanted pregnancy. That all methods are called as the contraceptives method, about which we shall talk after some time. So first of all, today let us start the study of reproductive health. Actually, we people have to study about the health and about the different diseases in a separate chapter later on, and in that chapter we shall discuss in very detail once again about the term health, about the meaning of term health. There are so many different definitions given by different authors, given in different books, in dictionaries, and given by different scholars. But according to the World Health Organization, that is according to the WHO, that is WHO, Jagtik Arogya Sangatna, World Health Organization. According to the World Health Organization, the definition of health, I am talking about simply the definition of health. I am not talking about the definition of reproductive health. First of all, I am going to talk in general about the definition of health. According to WHO, the health is defined as it is complete physical, mental and social well-being. Health is complete physical, mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease, not merely the absence of infirmity. अर्थात जागतिक आरोग्य संघटनेनुसार हेल्थ, आरोग्य याची जी व्याख्या केलेली आहे, अर्थात ही व्याख्या जो वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गनायझेशनचा फाउंडेशन डे आहे त्या दिवशी ही व्याख्या, ही डेफिनेशन देण्यात आली. ती व्याख्या आता मी तुम्हाला सांगितली. द हेल्थ इज डिफाइंड ॲज इट इज कंप्लीट फिजिकल, मेंटल अँड सोशल वेलबिंग अँड नॉट मिअरली द ॲब्सेन्स ऑफ डिसीज. म्हणजे एखादा आजार नसणं म्हणजे हेल्थ, म्हणजे तो व्यक्ती हेल्दी आहे, त्याला आरोग्य आहे असं होत नाही. दॅट पर्सन मस्ट बी फिजिकली well, that is normal, not only physically but mentally as well as socially. Later on in separate chapter we shall talk about the mental health also, because actually the mental illness is more dangerous than different, we can say, physical or bodily diseases, because the mental illness cannot be detected easily. About that we shall talk later on. But health in the sense that person must be physically or bodily fit, or I will say normal, mentally normal and also socially normal. Socially normal in the sense that person should have the general etiquettes, social etiquettes. He should follow the different norms, how to behave in society. याचा अर्थ शारीरिक दृष्ट्या, मानसिक दृष्ट्या आणि सामाजिक दृष्ट्या तो व्यक्ती जर नॉर्मल असेल, साधारण असेल, तर त्याला हेल्दी असं म्हटलं जातं. बट हियर वी पीपल हॅव टू स्टडी अबाउट द रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह हेल्थ. मीनिंग इज व्हेरी सिंपल. मीन्स हियर द हेल्थ वी हॅव टू स्टडी कन्सर्न विथ रिप्रोडक्शन. Health we have to study concern with reproductive system, concern with reproduction, concern with reproductive organs. So according to the World Health Organization, According to the World Health Organization, reproductive health is defined as it is complete physical, mental, social, behavioral and emotional well-being shown by that individual related to all different aspects of reproduction. Related to all different aspects of reproduction. You know, there are so many different aspects of reproduction. Aspects पैलू अर्थात प्रजनन किंवा रिप्रोडक्शन याच्या संदर्भात जे वेगवेगळे aspects आहेत, वेगवेगळे पैलू आहेत, त्याच्या संदर्भात related to different aspects of reproduction, that individual, that person must be physically normal, mentally normal, socially normal. He should show the normal social, emotional and behavioral interactions with other members in the society. याचा अर्थ तो जो इंडिव्हिज्युअल आहे त्याला रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह हेल्थ आहे, तो रिप्रोडक्टिव्हली हेल्दी आहे असं केव्हा म्हटलं जाऊ शकतं? when that person shows normal physical structure as well as normal physiological functioning of reproductive system, reproductive organs. ज्या वेळेला त्या व्यक्तीची रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह ऑर्गन्स, रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह सिस्टीम ही फिजिकली नॉर्मल आहे, स्ट्रक्चरली नॉर्मल आहे, त्याच पद्धतीने त्याचं वर्किंग, फंक्शनिंग, फिजियोलॉजी पण नॉर्मल आहे आणि त्याच व्यतिरिक्त when that individual shows the normal emotional as well as behavioral interactions with other members of the society. समाजातल्या इतर मेंबरशी, समाजातल्या इतर घटकांशी रिप्रोडक्शनशी रिलेटेड त्याच्या अंतरक्रिया या जर सामान्य असतील, सर्वसाधारण असतील तर आणि तरच that individual is said to be reproductively healthy and that individual has reproductive health. And therefore we can define reproductive health in this manner. Of course, according to the World Health Organization, reproductive health it is complete physical, mental, social, behavioral, emotional well-being. Emotional well-being related to different aspects, related to different aspects of reproduction. Now there are so many different aspects of reproduction. In short, briefly I can say that reproduction, we know the entire act of reproduction, it involves so many different things, so many different aspects, such as first of all we can say the sexual intercourse, that is the mating of male and female individual. It is followed by, we can say, conception, that is pregnancy. We can say it is followed by the childbirth, parturition, etc., etc. It means here this reproductive health, it deals with physical, mental, social, behavioral and emotional well-being related to different aspects of reproduction. And the individual or person showing such normal physical and physiological functioning of reproductive organs is said to be reproductively healthy. The society with people having such structurally and functionally normal reproductive system, normal reproductive organs and showing normal behavioral and emotional interactions with other members of society is said to be reproductively healthy society. I would like to tell you that India is amongst few countries in the world who first took initiative to improve the reproductive health of society. Just try to understand. India is one of the few countries in the world, who took initiative to improve the reproductive health of the society, to maintain the reproductive health of the society, And for that purpose, different plans, different programs started by Government of India at national level. Actually, all those different plans, all those different programs initiated by the Government of India to improve the reproductive health of society are now run under the Reproductive and Child Health Care Program, under the title of Reproductive and Child Health Care Program. So, we people have to study, first of all, what are the objectives of this RCH, that is Reproductive and Child Health Care Program, RCH program. First of all, we have to understand briefly what are the different goals of this RCH program, what are the different objectives of this RCH program. So let us talk about the goals, objectives of RCH program. Let me tell you briefly one by one each. First objective is to create awareness among the people, about different aspects of reproduction and different aspects of reproductive health. I am going to repeat. I said that the first objective of this program is to create awareness among the people about different aspects of reproduction, different aspects of reproductive health. Reproduction आणि reproductive health याचे जे अनेकविध पैलू आहेत त्याच्या संदर्भात लोकांमध्ये अवेअरनेस निर्माण करणं, त्याच्या संदर्भात लोकांमध्ये जनजागृती निर्माण करणं हा पहिला उद्देश आहे या RCH प्रोग्रामचा. Here I am going to write briefly. So the first objective, first goal, to create awareness among people about different aspects of reproduction. Second, to provide facilities to build up reproductive health, to maintain reproductive health. अर्थात रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह हेल्दी राहण्यासाठी, रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह हेल्थ मेंटेन करण्यासाठी ज्या काही अनेक वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टींची गरज आहे, फॅसिलिटीज आहेत, ते पुरवणं हा या कार्यक्रमाचा, या प्रोग्रामचा दुसरा उद्देश मानला जातो. थर्ड वन इज गिवन टू प्रोवाइड सपोर्ट by different ways to build up the reproductive health. The meaning is quite similar. To provide support to build up reproductive health. Also, the main objective of this RCH is to achieve three different goals. There are 3 points which are considered as quite vital points of this program, such as first, to reduce the infertility rate. All of you are aware that in the society there are many couples which are infertile, that is, they cannot reproduce, they cannot give birth to the new young ones, and the rate of such infertility is quite high in India due to so many different reasons. We don't have to talk about that reasons here, but just to study what are the reasons behind that infertility and how to reduce that infertility rate in our society is also one of the aim, one of the objective of this RCH program. Second, to reduce the infant mortality rate. Infant, you know, newborn young one, newborn baby. In India, the infant mortality rate is also comparatively high. So how to reduce this infant mortality rate? नवजात बालकांचा जन्मानंतर होणारा मृत्यू अर्थात हा दर सुद्धा खूप जास्त आहे आणि तो कसा कमी केला जाईल याच्यासाठी प्रयत्न करणं हा पुढचा उद्देश मानला जातो. In addition to that, we can say to reduce the maternity mortality rate. Maternity mortality rate. Maternity stands for the mother. In rural area, mostly it occurs the death of that mother immediately after parturition. There are again so many different reasons. But the RCH, it aims just to reduce the infertility rate, just to reduce the infant mortality rate, just to reduce the maternity mortality rate, that is the death rate of mother, death rate of newborn young ones. So these are different objectives of the reproductive and child health care program. Now to achieve these goals, we have to implement different programs. We have to do certain plan, and therefore now here we have to discuss about the different ways, different measures, different methods to achieve these different goals. हे जे उद्दिष्ट आहे RCH चे ते साध्य करण्यासाठी कोणकोणत्या उपाययोजना केल्या जाऊ शकतात त्यांचा आपल्याला या ठिकाणी अभ्यास करायचा आहे. सो नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द डिफरंट ways to achieve the goals of reproductive and child health care program. Ways to achieve reproductive health or to achieve the aims of goals of objectives of RCH program. First way I am going to talk introduction of sex education in the formal syllabus of schools. Introduction of sex education in the syllabus of schools, especially at the level of 8th standard, 10th standard and 12th standard. Because you know, generally the boys and girls, they attain sexual maturity around the age 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, that we all are aware. And that's why it is necessary to provide them proper education about the sex related aspects scientifically and properly through the sex education. And that's why it is most important to introduce the sex education in the formal syllabus of school. शाळेमध्ये जो आपला अभ्यासक्रम आहे त्याच्यामध्ये सेक्स एज्युकेशन लैंगिक शिक्षणाचा अंतर्भाव करणं हे गरजेचं आहे. And the schools must be encouraged to provide the correct information, scientific information about the sex, about the reproduction, about the sex related aspect, just to discourage the students from different myths and misconceptions, disbelief related to the sex and I will say sex related aspects. शाळेमध्ये हा अभ्यासक्रम अंतर्भूत केल्यानंतर शाळेमार्फत सेक्स आणि सेक्स एज्युकेशनच्या संदर्भातली शास्त्रीय माहिती विद्यार्थ्यांना पुरवली पाहिजे, जेणेकरून या वयोगटात असणाऱ्या विद्यार्थ्यांना सेक्स आणि सेक्स रिलेटेड एस्पेक्टच्या संदर्भात ज्या काही गोष्टींबाबत काही गैरसमजुती असतात, डिसबिलीफ असतात, मिसकन्सेप्शन असतात, गैरसमजुती असतात, त्या निघून जाव्यात आणि त्याची शास्त्रीय माहिती त्यांना मिळावी ही त्या ठिकाणी गरज आहे. The proper information should be given through this sex education about the safe sexual practices, about the sex hygiene, we can say about the STDs, that is sexually transmitting diseases, AIDS, etc., etc. Second one, with the help of different media to create awareness about reproductive health to create awareness about reproductive health and different sex related facts through mass media, through different mass media. All of you are known today, so many different types of mass media are available: audio visual media, or we can say print media, through seminars, through lectures, through workshops, through advertisements, etc., etc. The government as well as some NGOs, that is non-government organization, should create awareness among the people, among the society about the various aspects related to the reproduction. वेगवेगळ्या माध्यमांचा उपयोग करून आज जी काही वेगवेगळी माध्यम आहेत, प्रसार माध्यम आहेत, त्यांचा उपयोग करून लोकांमध्ये रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह हेल्थ आणि रिप्रोडक्शनच्या संदर्भातले जे वेगवेगळे पैलू आहेत त्याच्या संदर्भात शास्त्रीय माहिती पुरवणं, त्यांची जनजागृती करणं हा पण त्या ठिकाणी आवश्यक गोष्ट मानली जाते. तिसरं आपण या ठिकाणी सांगू शकू, बाय एज्युकेटिंग द यंगर जनरेशन, means to educate younger generation about different birth control measures, how to prevent unwanted pregnancy, about which just we are going to study. So the younger generation should be taught, they should make aware about different ways, different measures to control unwanted pregnancy, about the prenatal care of woman, that is pregnant woman. Prenatal in the sense we can say before the birth of baby, अर्थात pregnant woman ची काळजी कशी घ्यायची, postnatal care of newborn young one and of that mother also. बाळाचा जन्म झाल्यानंतर नवजात शिशु, नवजात बालकाची काळजी कशी घ्यायची, आईची काळजी कशी घेतली गेली पाहिजे, हे या ठिकाणी अवेअरनेस किंवा आपण म्हणूया शिक्षण हे यंग जनरेशनला दिले गेलं पाहिजे. Also they must know about the importance of breastfeeding. आपण मागच्याच टॉपिक मध्ये लॅक्टेशन बाबत पाहिलं, अर्थात ब्रेस्ट फिडिंगचं महत्त्व काय हेही त्या ठिकाणी कळवलं गेलं पाहिजे. मीन्स these are the different ways how to achieve the objectives of RCH program, how the reproductive health can be maintained. Then by creating awareness about the statutory ban on amniocentesis. What is amniocentesis? That we are going to study very soon. Just temporarily I would like to tell you, initially this technique was used to know the sex of fetus. Sex of fetus अर्थात जन्म होण्याआधी ते गर्भामध्ये असणारं बाळ मुलगा आहे की मुलगी आहे हे तपासण्यासाठी ही चाचणी केली जायची. याच्याबाबत आपण आता लगेच पुढे शिकणार आहोत पुढच्या लेक्चरला. But temporarily you just know, nowadays you know there is a statutory legal ban on amniocentesis. त्याच्याबाबत आपण स्वतंत्र नंतर बोलणार आहोत. मग याच्याबाबत सुद्धा यंग जनरेशन मध्ये अवेअरनेस निर्माण करणं ही गरज आहे. Also to create awareness among the people about the bad effects, ill effects of uncontrolled population. भरमसाठ झालेली लोकसंख्येतील वाढ याचे काय वाईट परिणाम आहेत, दुष्परिणाम आहेत, त्याचे काय इम्पॅक्ट्स आहेत हे समाजाला समजून सांगणं गरजेचं आहे. जस्ट टू अंडरस्टँड द इम्पॅक्ट्स ऑफ वी कॅन से population explosion. In addition to that, the young generation must be aware about the sex related crimes, sex abuse, sex related crimes, what we call rape, etc., etc. याच्याबाबत जनजागृती करण्याची गरज आहे. So all these are the different we can say steps necessary to achieve the objectives of RCH program. Few more points here I am going to add. That is by creating awareness about the child immunization. You know, immunization in the sense vaccination program. All of you might be known that so many different types of vaccines are necessary to give to that newborn baby, isn't it? To protect that baby from different types of diseases. So that immunization program, proper idea should be given to the newly married couples and make them aware about the immunization program. Then in addition to that, they educate the couples to reduce the death rate of mother and newborn. So all these different steps are necessary. These all are the different ways and these all are the different steps necessary to achieve the objectives, goals of this reproductive and child health care program. So here we have discussed about the reproductive health. Now we have to discuss about the birth control measures. Birth control measures. Birth control measures, name itself indicate, these are the different measures, these are the different ways or methods which deliberately prevent fertilization, which deliberately prevent pregnancy, which deliberately avoid unwanted pregnancy are known as birth control measures, or these different birth control measures are also known as contraceptive methods or simply contraceptives. Is that clear? So birth control measures are nothing but the different measures, different ways, different methods, different devices which are used to prevent fertilization, to prevent pregnancy, to avoid unwanted pregnancy. अर्थात अनावश्यक प्रेग्नन्सी टाळण्यासाठी ज्या असंख्यविध उपाययोजना आहेत, असंख्यविध साधनं आहेत, त्यांना कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव्स किंवा कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव्ह मेथड्स असं म्हणतात. मराठीमध्ये आपण त्यांना गर्भनिरोधक साधनं आणि गर्भनिरोधक उपाययोजना असं आपण त्या ठिकाणी म्हणू शकतो. So now here we have to study so many different contraceptives are there, so many different birth control measures are there. We are going to talk about them. Actually, all those different contraceptives, all those different birth control measures, ह्या ज्या विविध गर्भनिरोधक उपाययोजना आहेत त्यांचे दोन प्रमुख प्रकार पाडले जातात, टेम्पररी अँड परमनंट वेज. टेम्पररी मेजर अँड परमनंट मेजर, याचा अर्थ तात्पुरत्या स्वरूपातली उपाययोजना आणि कायमस्वरूपीची उपाययोजना. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द टेम्पररी वेज, टेम्पररी मेथड्स to avoid pregnancy. Just now we have studied about the reproductive health, isn't it? And actually to make aware younger people, especially the newly married couples, about the different birth control measures is also necessary. So let us talk about the temporary methods of birth control measures. First temporary method is safe period. It may be called as a rhythm period, rhythm method, or may be called as natural method. Let me explain you what does it mean. A week before and week after menstrual bleeding, listen carefully, a week before and week after menstrual bleeding, that is menstruation, is considered as safe period. I am going to explain you. We people have studied about the menstrual cycle. All of you are aware, isn't it? And we know on an average in human female the duration of menstrual cycle is of 28 days. We all are know. Now in this 28 days menstrual cycle, we know that the first 5 days, from first day to fourth day, we can say is considered as menstrual phase or bleeding phase, during which the actual bleeding, actual menstruation occurs. We have studied, that is the breaking down of uterine endometrium if there is no fertilization. हे आपण शिकलोय. त्याच्यानंतर 5व्या दिवसापासून आपण म्हणूया 13व्या दिवसापर्यंतचा जो कालावधी असतो त्याला आपण म्हणतोया follicular phase. We have studied. Now in this follicular phase, in ovary again new follicle is developed, Graafian follicle is developed. Is that clear? And on 14th day, it occurs the ovulation. Isn't it? It means the ovum is shedded outside the ovary. सर्वसाधारण 28 दिवसाच्या मेन्स्ट्रुअल सायकल मध्ये 14व्या दिवशी ओव्ह्युलेशन घडून येतं असं आपण शिकलोय. याचा अर्थ ओव्हरी मधून ते ओवम हे शेड आउट केलं जातं, रिलीज केलं जातं, याला आपण ओव्ह्युलेशन असं म्हणतो. आणि 15व्या दिवसापासून ते 28व्या दिवसापर्यंतच्या कालावधीला आपण म्हणतो ल्युटियल फेज or secretory phase. Now we have already studied that the ovum released out from ovary at 14th day remains active and can be fertilized just within few hours, that is 5 to 6 hours after ovulation. Isn't it? हे आपण मागे शिकलोय की ओव्ह्युलेशन झाल्यानंतर फक्त 5-6 तासामध्ये जर स्पर्म तिथपर्यंत पोहोचला तरच फर्टिलायझेशन होऊ शकतं. आणि ऑल्सो वी हॅव स्टडीड दॅट स्पर्म can remain active for 24 hours in the female reproductive tract. हे आपण सगळं आधी शिकलोय. याचा अर्थ काय होतो की 14व्या दिवसाचा जवळपास जर स्पर्म त्या ठिकाणी पोहोचले तर आणि तरच फर्टिलायझेशन होईल आणि तरच प्रेग्नन्सी मेंटेन होऊ शकेल. याचा अर्थ काय की या 14व्या दिवसाच्या आधी किंवा 14व्या दिवसाच्या नंतरचा कालावधी हा सेफ आहे. पण मोस्ट सेफ कोणता मानलाय? मी असं म्हटलं a week before menstruation and week after menstruation. So a week before menstrual bleeding होण्याच्या एक आठवडा आधी, menstrual bleeding सुरू होण्याच्या आधीचा फेज कोणती आहे? ल्युटियल फेज. बरोबर आहे. मग ल्युटियल फेज मधल्या आपण म्हणूया सर्वसाधारण 21व्या दिवसापासून ते 28व्या दिवसांपर्यंतचा हा कालावधी, किंवा a week after menstrual bleeding 4 दिवसापर्यंत होतं आणि त्याच्यानंतरचे 7 दिवस म्हणजे आपण म्हणूया या ठिकाणी सर्वसाधारण 11व्या दिवसापर्यंतचा कालावधी. हा एवढा जो कालावधी आहे दॅट इज अ वीक बिफोर मेन्स्ट्रुअल ब्लीडिंग अँड वीक आफ्टर मेन्स्ट्रुअल ब्लीडिंग इज कन्सिडर्ड ॲज द सेफ पिरियड ड्युरिंग विच देयर इज अ लेस चान्स ऑफ fertilization and no chance of pregnancy. This is called as the safe period. याला natural method असं म्हणतात. But mind well, it is not the sure method and it has great chances of failure. Isn't it? So we can say that it is very risky. हे अतिशय रिस्की आहे. कारण प्रत्येकच फिमेल मध्ये बरोबर 14व्याच दिवशी ओव्ह्युलेशन होईल याची शक्यता नाही. ओव्ह्युलेशन काही फिमेल्स मध्ये कदाचित 14व्या दिवसाच्या लिटल बिट बिफोर और आफ्टर also possible, and that's why theoretically we can say it's okay. This period, a week after menstrual bleeding and week before menstrual bleeding is said to be safe, but it is not actually safe. It is risky because it has a great chances of failure. Okay, so this is first method, temporary method. Now come to the second temporary method, that is coitus interruptus. दुसरी temporary method आहे coitus interruptus or coitus withdrawal. Withdrawal means to take out. Coitus हा शब्द आपल्याला गेलेला आहे, isn't it? Coitus means the sexual mating of male and female, sexual intercourse, and we have studied during the sexual intercourse, during coitus, the penis of male is entrusted into the vagina of female. We have studied during sexual intercourse, the penis of male is entrusted into the vagina of female. Now coitus interruptus means to stop suddenly the coitus. Means what? The penis of male is withdrawn outside the vagina quickly before insemination, before ejaculation, before deposition of semen into the female reproductive tract. याचा अर्थ काय की इंटरकोर्स चालू असताना प्रत्यक्ष त्या ठिकाणी इजॅक्युलेशन होण्याच्या आधी, सिमेंट डिपॉझिट होण्याच्या आधी सडनली जर पेनिस हा विड्रॉ केला तर त्या ठिकाणी सिमेंट डिपॉझिट होणार नाही आणि फर्टिलायझेशन होणार नाही असं मानलं जातं. बट अगेन दिस इज रिस्की मेथड. व्हाय? बिकॉज प्री इजॅक्युलेशन फ्लुइड रिलीज्ड आउट फ्रॉम द पेनिस, पेनिस मधून इजॅक्युलेशन होण्याच्या आधी थोडंसं फ्लुइड बाहेर पडतं आणि त्याच्यामध्ये काही स्पर्म्स असू शकतात which can cause the fertilization, and that's why it is also not the sure method. It has also a great chances of failure. Third temporary method is lactational amenorrhea. Lactational, this word stands for the lactation. We have studied in previous topic. Lactation means the release, secretion, synthesis of milk from the breast, mammary gland of mother. Lactation. Amenorrhea, absent. Menorrhea stands for the menstruation. It means the absence of menstruation, absence of menstrual cycle during intense lactation shown by mother after childbirth. Intense lactation याचा अर्थ बाळाचा जन्म झाल्यानंतर त्या आईमार्फत जे काही लॅक्टेशन होतं म्हणजे मॅमरी ग्लँड्स मार्फत जे मिल्क रिलीज होत असते याला आपण लॅक्टेशन म्हणतो. आणि हा जो कालावधी असतो जोपर्यंत तो बेबी त्या ठिकाणी ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करतो आहे आणि अर्थात लॅक्टेशन होतंय तोपर्यंत त्या मदरमध्ये, त्या फिमेलमध्ये पुन्हा मेन्स्ट्रुअल सायकल रिपीट होत नाही. मेन्स्ट्रुअल सायकल रिपीट होत नाही म्हणजे काय? There is no formation of new follicle, no formation of new ovum in the ovaries of that mother. म्हणजे जोपर्यंत फिमेल लॅक्टेशन करते तोपर्यंत there is no chance of formation of ovum, no chance of formation of new follicle, and ultimately no chance of, we can say, the pregnancy and fertilization. But again, I would like to tell you, this is also not sure method, because always this does not happen, and therefore it has also a chances of failure. चौथे टेम्पररी मेथड आपण शिकत आहोत, that is chemical method, that is spermicides, use of spermicides. Chemical means the use of spermicides. Do you know the meaning of spermicide? All of you have came across the term pesticide, isn't it? Pesticide in the sense the chemicals which can kill the different harmful pests. Insecticide which can kill the insects. Okay, in the same manner spermicides means the chemicals which kill the sperms. Sperms ला नष्ट करण्याची क्षमता असणाऱ्या chemicals ला म्हटलं जातं spermicides. Now there are different jellies, creams, foams, pastes which are introduced into the vagina of female before sexual intercourse. Just try to understand. There are different creams, jellies, foams, pastes which are introduced into the vagina of female before sexual intercourse, and thus during sexual intercourse, though the semen containing sperms get deposited into the vagina, that get killed because of that spermicidal chemicals, and hence there is no chance of pregnancy, no chance of fertilization. But its disadvantage is that it can cause allergic response, or it can cause allergy in that female. त्या female मध्ये याची allergy येण्याची शक्यता असते. हे जे वेगवेगळे chemicals किंवा spermicidal cream वगैरे जे वापरले जातात त्याची allergy येण्याची शक्यता असते. Come to the next and fifth method, mechanical means. Actually, the mechanical means are nothing but different barrier methods. Barrier in the sense we can say obstacles, adthale. In this method, the different physical devices are used to prevent the physical mating of sperm and ovum. Actual mating of sperm and ovum, अर्थात sperm आणि ovum, मेल गॅमेट आणि फिमेल गॅमेट यांचं प्रत्यक्ष युनियन, मेटिंग, फ्युजन हे टाळण्यासाठी वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे फिजिकल डिव्हाइसेस उपलब्ध आहेत. वेगवेगळे भौतिक साधनं, मेकॅनिकल डिव्हाइसेस उपलब्ध आहेत, which acts as the barrier, which acts as the obstacle, and they prevent the physical mating between sperm, male gametes and female gametes. So let us talk about that different mechanical means. बघूया असे कोणकोणते मेकॅनिकल मीन्स आहेत. पहिलं त्या ठिकाणी दिलेलं आहे, that is the condom or निरोध. All of you might have learned about this term. You might have came across through different mass media and advertisement, that is condom or nirodh. Actually it is the contraceptive for males. It is the contraceptive for men. The condom or nirodh are nothing but simply these are thin rubber sheath. Thin rubber sheath. Here I am going to draw. So the condom or nirodh, these are contraceptives for male. The condom or nirodh are nothing but these are thin rubber sheath, and it is placed over the erectile penis of male before actual sexual intercourse. प्रत्यक्ष सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्स, याचा अर्थ बिफोर एन्थ्रस्टिंग द पेनिस into the vagina of female on the penis of male, this condom is placed. Of course, as it is a rubber sheath like structure, during intercourse when semen get ejaculated from the penis of male, that remain inside the condom here, isn't it? That not get released outside, and hence there is no chance of fertilization, because we can say not a single drop of semen and not a single sperm can be deposited into the female reproductive tract. अर्थात सीमेन हे पूर्णतः या कंडोम मध्येच राहतं, ते बाहेर त्या ठिकाणी फिमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये जाऊ शकत नाही, आणि त्यामुळे फर्टिलायझेशन किंवा प्रेग्नन्सीचे चान्सेस अजिबात नसतात. And therefore the use of condom by male, it is considered as most safest, easiest and cheapest method of contraceptive in India, and it is most popular in India by males as a contraceptive. You might be known that it is available easily in all medical stores. Also we can say it is provided through the government at PHCs, primary health centers, free of cost also. And I would like to say that these condom or nirodh are not only used as contraceptive, but it is the best way to prevent the STDs, sexually transmitting diseases, means the diseases which can be transmitted from male to female and female to male due to sexual intercourse, say AIDS, isn't it? So it is the best way to prevent the pregnancy and most cheapest, easiest and safest contraceptive, that is condom. Come to the next, that is diaphragm. Second, diaphragm, cervical cap or vault, V-A-U-L-T, vault. Let me explain you. Diaphragm or cervical cap or vault, it is nothing but simply a rubber or plastic cap like structure. And this diaphragm is fixed into the vagina. It is fixed into the vagina just near the cervix. We all have studied about the female reproductive system. We know that here is supposed to be the uterus, here is a cervix, here is a vagina. And generally these cervical caps are fixed here. So it prevents the entry of sperm into the cervix and into the uterus, because we know that during sexual intercourse the semen get deposited high up in the vagina, isn't it? So here the way of sperm is blocked, and hence it checks the entry of sperm into the uterus. These are temporary ways. Diaphragm means it is fixed temporarily just at the time of sexual intercourse and then it is removed in females. Next one, intrauterine devices, IUDs, intrauterine devices, in short IUDs. Name itself indicates, intra stands for inside, uterine stands for the uterus. So different devices which are placed temporarily into the uterus. उटेरसच्या आतमध्ये गर्भाशयामध्ये काही डिव्हाइसेस हे तात्पुरत्या स्वरूपात बसवले जातात. त्यांना IUDs म्हणतात. Actually these IUDs are the plastic or metal like copper or stainless steel device. याचा अर्थ कॉपर तांब्याची किंवा स्टेनलेस स्टीलचे हे डिव्हाइसेस असतात किंवा प्लास्टिकचे हे डिव्हाइसेस असतात आणि ते वेगवेगळे आहेत. Such as we can say the copper tea. कॉपर टीचे पण वेगवेगळे प्रकार आहेत. such as Cu5, Cu7 वगैरे वगैरे. काय? Let me explain you. Actually copper tea, name itself indicate, it is a very small device, tiny device made up of copper. Its shape is just like a capital T. Look, these IUDs are placed into the uterus of woman by doctor or by trained nurse. Cannot be placed at our home. It needs the support of doctor or we can say the trained nurse. That doctor or trained nurse place these IUDs, a copper T, into the uterus in a particular position. Because of this copper T, the sperms, though get deposited here, they cannot reach up to the ovum. That get killed here, that get killed here. It is said that these copper T, they stimulate the macrophages, phagocytic cells, which engulf and digest the sperms. अर्थात या कॉपर टी मुळे असं म्हटलं जातं की या ठिकाणी युटेरसच्या एंडोमेट्रियम मध्ये असणारे जे फॅगोसायटिक सेल्स आहे, तुम्हाला माहिती फॅगोसायटिक सेल्स याचा अर्थ ज्या सेल परकीय जीवजंतूंना खाऊन टाकतात त्यांना आपण फॅगोसायटिक सेल्स म्हणतो, मॅक्रोफेजेस म्हणतो. त्या पेशी या ठिकाणी जास्त प्रमाणात येतात आणि स्पर्म जरी इकडे आले तरी त्यांना खाऊन टाकण्याचं काम त्या मॅक्रोफेजेस करत असतात. किंवा these IUDs, they make unsuitable environment for the survival of sperm. Unsuitable environment for the survival of sperms, and that's why the sperm cannot survive here in the uterus, cannot reach up to the ovum, and fertilization is not possible. So copper T, it is one of the, we can say, IUD. Second one is given, that is the hormone releasing IUD. Hormone releasing IUD. This hormone releasing IUD is also somewhat T-like. It is also placed into the uterus and it releases hormones which immobilizes and kills the sperm. One more is given, that is Lippel loops. It is double S shaped IUD made up of plastic, double S shaped loop. It has a thread at its bottom and it is also placed into the uterus. All these IUDs makes unfavorable environment to the sperms, and that's why the sperms cannot survive here in the uterus and fertilization is not possible. It is also not the safest way, mind well, because unknowingly these IUDs, copper T, can be expelled outside the body during menses, during menstruation. याचा अर्थ नकळत ज्यावेळेला मेन्स्ट्रुअल ब्लीडिंग होतं त्यावेळेला ही IUD, कॉपर टी वगैरे त्या फिमेलच्या बॉडीतून बाहेर निघून जाण्याची शक्यता आहे आणि त्यामुळे IUDs या रिस्की मानल्या जातात. एवढंच नाही तर इट मे कॉज अनयुजुअल ब्लीडिंग इन बिटवीन द टू मेन्स्ट्रुअल सायकल्स, कॅन कॉज द पेन्स, त्या स्त्रीला पेल्विक पेन्स, हिप पेन्स, कमरेमध्ये दुखावा वगैरे त्याच्यामुळे जाणवू शकतो. हे त्याचे काही डिसएडव्हांटेजेस पण आहेत. हे बघत होतो आपण IUDs बघत. Now let us talk about some physiological or oral hormonal pills. Physiological or oral hormonal pills. Actually these are devices in the sense, these are the pills, hormonal pills. These are hormonal pills. They contain hormone, progesterone and estrogen, female sex hormone in particular proportion. And that hormonal pills maintains high proportion of progesterone and estrogen in the blood of mother, and because of which there is no release of FSH and LH by pituitary gland. अर्थात या ज्या हार्मोनल पिल्स आहेत यांच्यामध्ये प्रोजेस्टेरॉन आणि इस्ट्रोजन हार्मोन विशिष्ट प्रमाणात असतं. अर्थात या टॅबलेट्समुळे, या गोळ्यांमुळे त्या ठिकाणी फिमेलच्या रक्तामध्ये या हार्मोनची पातळी कायम उच्च असते आणि त्यामुळे त्या फिमेलच्या पिट्युटरी ग्लँड मार्फत FSH आणि LH हार्मोन तयार होत नाही. जर FSH तयार झालं नाही तर आपल्याला माहिती आहे त्या फिमेलच्या ओव्हरीमध्ये नवीन फॉलिकल तयार होणार नाही, ओव्हमच रिलीज होणार नाही. आणि जर ओव्हमच रिलीज झालं नाही तर फर्टिलायझेशन आणि प्रेग्नन्सीचे चान्सेस अजिबात नसतात. So these are the hormonal pills. Say for example the Mala D, Saheli, these are, we can say, the government approved hormonal tablets, hormonal pills, and that are to be used by females as temporary contraceptive. याच्या व्यतिरिक्त आणखीन एक टेम्पररी मेथड आहे, other contraceptives. Certain modern hormonal contraceptives are available. Modern hormonal contraceptives are available. These are actually a very small, very tiny and rod-like contraceptives. Very tiny, rod-like contraceptives. Just like the matchstick. Matchstick सारखे. आणि त्या ज्या matchstick सारख्या hormonal pills असतात that are placed under the skin in the upper arm of female. या ठिकाणी छोटासा कट देऊन त्वचेच्या खाली, स्किनच्या खाली सबक्युटॅनियसली ती टॅबलेट किंवा आपण म्हणू ते टायनी डिव्हाइस इम्प्लांट केलं जातं की ज्यामुळे देयर इज नो चान्स ऑफ प्रेग्नन्सी फॉर 3 to 4 इयर्स. 3-4 वर्ष त्या ठिकाणी प्रेग्नन्सी राहू शकत नाही. सो इट इज वन ऑफ द मॉडर्न, आय विल से, हार्मोनल कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव्ह, फिजियोलॉजिकल कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव्ह. नाउ वी हॅव टू डिस्कस ब्रीफली अबाउट द permanent methods. So now let us talk about the permanent method. So the permanent contraceptive method include the sterilization of male and female by surgical method. The main aim of this method is to block the transport of gametes. Due to this surgical method, due to such sterilization operations, the male and female gametes cannot reach near to each other and ultimately there is no chance of fertilization. Near to each other in the sense the sperms cannot reach up to the ovum. Is that clear? And therefore the physical mating and fertilization is not possible. How is that? We will understand quickly. In male, this sterilization operation is called vasectomy. Vasectomy. It is male sterilization surgery, male sterilization operation. Let me explain. In vasectomy, a small cut is given on the scrotum. Small cut is given. Please look. We people have studied about the male reproductive system, and that's why you all are very well known that here is supposed to be the scrotum. Just consider inside view. Inside view. We all are known that scrotum, it is a skinny pouch hanging outside the abdominal cavity below the pubic symphysis. All those things we have studied. We know that in this scrotum here is the presence of testes, then reti testes, vasa efferentia, epididymis, we all have studied. And from the distal end of epididymis, we know it starts the vas deferens, which enters into the abdominal cavity. Now here a cut is given in the scrotum, a small cut is given in the scrotum, and this vas deferens means of both sides, vasa differentia, both sides. That vasa differentia are ligatured close to each other. Ligatured means what? That vasa differentia are tied with the help of nylon thread, surgical thread very tightly, and the vasa differentia are cut in between two ligatures. Vasa differentia are cut in between two ligatures, or we can say a small piece of vasa differentia is removed. Is that clear? So now ultimately this pathway of sperm get blocked. We know that the sperms are produced here in the testes, and from testes via reti testes, vasa differentia and epididymis, the sperms can reach up to the vasa differentia, isn't it? So as here the vasa differentia is cut off, meanwhile in between two ligatures the sperms cannot be transported further, and in the semen there is no chance of sperms at all. अर्थात सीमेन मध्ये स्पर्म्स असणारच नाही. त्या सीमेन मध्ये फक्त काय असणार आहे, सेमाइनल फ्लुइड आणि प्रोस्टॅटिक फ्लुइड असणार आहे, स्पर्म्स नसणार. आणि म्हणून त्या ठिकाणी कुठल्याही प्रकारचे स्पर्म जर सीमेन मध्ये नाहीच आहे तर फर्टिलायझेशन होण्याचे चान्सेस अजिबात नसतात. सो इट इज द शुअर, सेफेस्ट अँड परमनंट मेथड बर्थ कंट्रोल मेजर, or I will say the contraceptive permanent method in male, that is vasectomy. In the same manner, such sterilization operations are also carried out in females, known as tubectomy. Tubectomy. It may be called as laparoscopy. Now in tubectomy, the cut is given in the abdomen. Cut is given in the abdomen, and the fallopian tubes. Let me draw here a diagram of female reproductive system once again for your understanding. You know that the female reproductive system consists of such type of pair of ovaries. Here is ampulla, isthmus, and we know these both oviducts open into the uterus, isn't it? We all are known about it. Now in tubectomy, the cut is given in the abdomen, and the oviducts, fallopian tubes of both sides are ligatured very close to each other. Ligatured in the sense with the help of nylon thread, with the help of surgical thread, that oviduct of both sides, oviducts of both sides are tight, and a small cut is given in between two ligatures. या ठिकाणी दोन ठिकाणी त्या ओव्हिडक्टला एकमेकांच्या जवळ अगदी नायलॉन थ्रेडने घट्ट बांधून टाकलं जातं, आणि त्या दोन लायगेचर्सच्या मध्ये कट दिला जातो, आणि त्या ठिकाणी ओव्हिडक्ट ही कट करून टाकली जाते. अल्टिमेटली द ओव्हम शेडेड आउट फ्रॉम द ओव्हरी, जरी ओव्हरी मधून ओव्हम शेड आउट झालं आणि ते या ठिकाणी आलं तर स्पर्म्स, सीमेन मध्ये असलेले स्पर्म्स इथपर्यंत एम्पुला पार्ट पर्यंत पोहोचू शकणार नाही, isn't it? Because here the pathway is blocked. त्या ठिकाणी स्पर्मचा पाथवे हा ब्लॉक करून टाकलेला आहे, and so there is no chance of pregnancy at all. So it is one of the permanent method, tubectomy, that is the sterilization operation in females. So here we have discussed all the details and all the different birth control measures, temporary as well as permanent. Here ends this topic. So let us stop here today. We shall discuss next topic in our next lecture. Thank you. Welcome.